this is Mrs. Ott, and I am excited because today we will be drawing and painting ice cream cones. And I will tell you about a really famous artist that makes sweets and treats and really cool drawings and paintings. So before we start, let's gather our materials. And you will need a pencil, an eraser, if you have some oil pastels, and watercolors, any watercolors that you have at home. And also two different sizes of brushes, so a medium brush and a little bit bigger brush. And of course, your paper. I'm using drawing paper about 9 by 12. So let's get started. So boys and girls, here is an image of a famous artist's ice cream cones. So his name is Wayne Thiebaud. He's an American artist and he loves to paint sweets and treats and ice creams and cakes and donuts. So we're going to be painting today an ice cream cone. So in here there's 3 ice cream cones. We'll start with 1 ice cream cone, and I want you to think about which flavor you would like your ice cream to be, and also if you're gonna have an ice cream cone just with 1 scoop of ice cream, or perhaps 2 with a cherry on the top, or even 3. So we're going to use our paper in the tall side, which is vertical or portrait, so that if you wish you can stack up lots of ice creams, and you can put a cherry on the top or a cookie to decorate it. Now, before we start, I want you to notice the way this shape goes on top. So if you have just 1 scoop, it's going to be round at the top. But if we have overlapping scoops, then we'll have this shape right here. It's kind of like a little wave, and then another ice cream. So the one at the top will be round, but when it comes here, we'll have this little wave. So we're going to work on that. Also, we're going to create the texture or the pattern in the ice cream cone itself. And it's always kind of a beige, brownish color. So I'm going to take my piece of paper, and again, this is on the long side, vertical, and I'm going to start with pencil, just in case I need to erase, we can erase. So the ice cream cone itself is kind of a triangle, but a very long triangle, and I have my 2 lines going like that. If I want to make at the top like a border right here, I can do that, and I can even make it a little bit more round. And then I'm not going to do my patterns because we'll do that later with oil pastels. So I'm going to start with my first bowl of ice cream. It's kind of nice and round, but I want to add this part of the ice cream that's kind of round like this and kind of dripping. And maybe I can even add kind of a drop of ice cream here. And maybe it's falling into the ice cream cone like that. Now I'm going to add the next one here. So remember that little wave I talked to you about. Good thing we're using pencil, because we will be able to erase a little bit later. I'm really liking the shape right now. And I think I want 1 more scoop of ice cream, because it's a really special day, and I'm gonna treat myself to a giant ice cream cone with 3 bowls of ice cream. And of course, a cherry on the top. So here is my little cherry at the top. So here's our sketch. So now I can erase the lines that I don't want. So these lines right here, basically we don't want them because we only want to see the top part. Same thing right here. We do not need this line. And in here, I guess we don't need these lines. Like that. So now I'm going to start using my oil pastels, and I'm trying to find a color that's kind of like an ice cream cone color. Now it's always helpful to have another piece of paper next to you so that you can try out your pastels before you go onto your paper. So I'm gonna try my this is kind of a light brown to see if I like this color for my ice cream cone, or maybe a little bit, I think that's a little bit too dark. This would be a good chocolate color. Perhaps this one, because I want to paint the cone in a light color. So I'm going to use this one to outline. Now this will be just lines. It's not going to be filled in. So we're using our oil pastels just to add details. So in my cone, it will be the crisscross pattern. So I'm gonna go, these are lines that repeat and they're parallel, which means they're next to each other. And then I'm gonna cross. So when I cross the line this way, it's called crisscross. Kind of like tic-tac-toe. And then I'm going to add a little border. Remember that border right here. Now my cones are going to be, not sure which flavor yet, but with my oil pastels, I can think about if you want to add sprinkles. So maybe this one is going to be a mint, so it's going to be like a light green, but I want some chocolate chips. So I'm going to add my sprinkles, or little pieces of chocolate, like this. Again, this is just details. Maybe my next one, I want some colors, like sprinkles, all different colors. So I'm gonna add some small little dots in all colors. Now the only color that you shouldn't use is the color of your ice cream. So I'm not sure what ice cream I'm gonna I'm gonna select yet, but I just want it to be really, really colorful. And then on the top, not sure what else could I add that would be so pretty for an ice cream cone. Maybe it could have like, I know, maybe it could have like syrup. So some kind of like strawberry. In that case, I'm going to use the long side of my oil pastel to make it just a little bit longer. Slowly kind of dripping down like that. And then I have my beautiful cherry at the top, and I'm going to just color that one with beautiful bright red, and make sure it's really bright red. The stem of my cherry is a dark brown. So when I'm done with my sprinkles, I'm basically ready to paint using watercolors. So I'm going to get my watercolors, and I have this one. So sometimes watercolors boxes have different colors, so I like to use both of them, because in that case I can have more options of different watercolors, more colors. So I'm going to start with my ice cream cone. And I can see this color here, which is kind of a light brown, very light brown, might look really good. It's a perfect color for my cone. Oh my gosh, that looks perfect. So I'm gonna go over the crisscross brown that we used for the cone. And you see, we can still see through because watercolor is very transparent. So we're gonna use it just like that, and it doesn't go away, it doesn't erase. And here's the border, remember that little border right there. Now my next one, I wanted to do a mint chip. So I'm going to find a green. This one is, so this is where you're gonna have fun, kind of mixing your colors to try to get a green, in this case, that I like. So I'm gonna, go around and try to find a green that I like, although this one is really pretty actually. Maybe I'll use this one. But maybe I want it to be a little bit, there we go. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white right here. And I'm gonna go and see how this looks. I think it looks really good. So I'm gonna go down here. And I go all the way to the line. Really on your piece of paper, or you can mix your colors on the tray of the watercolor box right here. Very transparent. And I'm not gonna forget to add my drops right here of color. So I'm gonna continue and I'm gonna think about what colors I want to use for my 2 of the scoops of ice cream. Girls, I love my ice cream cone and it looks really, really yummy. Now I'm wondering if I should add a background. I could leave it like that. It looks really, really good. So it's your decision, and when you add a background, think about using a color that you have not used in your cone so that it really pops out. So I'm thinking perhaps I could use yellow, or I could use this really pretty green that I found. So I'm going to look at some colors and kind of see which one. I think this yellow looks really, really good. So because this is a larger area, I'm going to use a brush that's a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try with yellow. So again, remember that this is your choice. And this is what's fun about art, is that everybody does art differently. Everybody can choose their own colors and you can experiment. And if you love doing this this project with one ice cream cone, you could do another one, maybe with 3 ice cream cones, just the way the artist Wayne Thiebaud did his. So in that case, you would turn your paper the other way and mix, different ice cream cones. So here is my ice cream cone and everything's dry, and I'd like to add a few more details. So you might want to leave it just like that. It does really look beautiful, but I'm thinking I want to make it just more fun. So first I'm going to add just a little bit more oil pastel. So with my red, I just want to feel like really adding like an outline here. And maybe on the brown, which is my chocolate ice cream, it's kind of like fading a little bit, so I want it to be a little bit more so I could see it a little bit more. And then this one is my mint chip, so some kind of a green. It's kind of hard to find the same color, but that's okay if it's not exactly the same color. So mint, it's kind of a blue-green. And then I'm thinking that I would really like to add a little bit of glitter. So where the sprinkles, kind of to make them pop a little bit more, or to add a little bit more. So like for instance here, if I wanted to add, kind of like something falling down like this, maybe it's some kind of syrup or icing that's coming down, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. This is just white glue, and I'm gonna add, in this case it's gonna be red, so you could choose your color. Now remember that this is completely optional, right? So I'm gonna just add a little bit. Oh my goodness, I went way overboard. That's okay, because remember, it will only stick where you have glue. And then maybe for the other one right here, I want to add, this is a glitter that's mixed with all colors, and I make this one when I save the glitter at the end. So maybe I can do just a few dots, just like that. And then I'm just going to add just a little bit of this glitter. So I call this one rainbow glitter. And the rainbow glitter is made every time I do a glitter project. I save the extra glitter, and I will show you how I do that once this is all dry. And then right here, I do not have brown, but I have some silver. I'm thinking maybe silver would look good. Maybe I'll put it, you know, not on the brown sprinkles, but just around like that. And remember, this is completely optional, but I like glitter, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of glitter right here. Just makes it more fun. And I'm thinking maybe some of this fell right here. So maybe I'm just gonna add a line here with some of the glitter that fell. So I might add just kind of a little bit of rainbow and maybe a little bit of silver and a little bit of red, like that. And this, the important part here is to let it dry. You don't want to touch it. You're gonna let this dry until tomorrow, or until it's dry. Sometimes it takes a few days to dry. So I'll come back when it's dry to show you how to shake it. So the next step is to check. You're gonna touch lightly to see if the glue is nice and dry before you take off the glitter. So if it's still gooey, I recommend that you wait one more day and then come back again. Sometimes when you put a lot of glue on, it just takes longer to dry. So once it's dry, I'm going to take my painting, and I have a tray ready here to basically save the glitter and not make a mess everywhere. So in my tray, this is just a kitchen tray, I have just a white piece of paper so that I can save the glitter and recycle it, which is how I make my rainbow glitter. So now I'm going to just basically just shake it off like this onto the tray, and oh my gosh, it looks so much better with the glitter. I'm so excited. It really looks good. So now our project is finished. It's beautiful. I'm so excited. And now I'm going to show you, if you have a container, this is what I do usually with to save the glitter and make rainbow glitter. So what I'll do with this piece of paper, I'll make kind of like a little funnel, collect it like this, and then pour it into a container this way. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I can't wait to see your ice cream cones.